Hello, hello. I am Amadeus. I thought you were done. Um, I would've, but I got fucked. We'll get into that. I'm Amadeus Kyouma. I'm the other guy.
And
And
I'm GymBagBob.
she's here.
I'm here this time.
Well, I mean, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's just get to alcohol. I mean, obviously, you know what? There's a fair amount of things to talk about. It's the current day and the current year. Some pretty big shit just happened for us here in the land of the free, home of the brave. We'll get to it. Everyone's talking about it, and we'll try and keep it entertaining. But no, what do you mean? We've kind of done half-assed intros. Like for tonight's agenda, we're going to talk about. Um, wait, didn't we do that with one of the iterations where we? I feel like that was like during when we had four of us on here. Well, when he tried to be, he was like a voiceover appearance. No, wait, no, yeah. So he did his fucking fun fact of the day type shit. That doesn't make sense. Speaking of yeah, speaking of not making sense, my story with alcohol is yesterday I was hanging out with some boys. Um, what the fuck? Someone stole a box full of teddy bears, I think, at my apartment complex. Anyway, I was hanging out with some friends. We went to the liquor store because they wanted to buy some alcohol. I saw a really cool looking bottle of whiskey. It's called Loonshine. It's made in Minnesota, in Waconia. It was $30. What? What? What?
And I am your host, Nocam. Apparently, Chris muted me out of nowhere. Like sometimes it just decides to turn my microphone off. So yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
all
fine.
I said is that I want to talk about alcohol eventually because yeah, now we're on that story. So my apologies.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Um, so the four of us went to the liquor store. We all walked in together. This is important. I saw a cool bottle of whiskey. It was Loonshine, made in Minnesota, $30. I said, fuck it. I have my ID with me.
Yeah.
I'll be good. The other two guys that we walked in with, they walked ahead of us. They purchased their shit, no issue, showed their ID, all good. Um, my friend Isaac, who's been on this podcast, he didn't bring his ID, even though he was the one that drove us to the liquor store. And then the guy asked, "Well, I got to see both of your guys' IDs," and I didn't get the Loonshine. I mean, I can go back for it. It's just fucking
Wait,
layman.
who didn't have an ID?
Isaac. But
Yeah.
the really funny part is he's bought alcohol with that guy working before, so he's
Yeah.
seen his
And
ID.
he's old
I
enough.
just, I mean, maybe he thinks I'm a fucking
Okay.
cop. Maybe.
Nah, if I went there, brought some shades, and then I would just watch from a distance, drinking some coffee. That would actually be kind of fun. And then see if they like their attitude changes, starts asking everyone for IDs.
Yeah. I should have fucking told him. Good job, man. You passed the
I'm
test.
gonna do that. I want to do that. You passed the test. Good job. Good on you, sir. Especially if it's like a 70-year-old man or some shit.
Yeah, make him feel real
Yeah.
good about himself. I did my
Like, what's the
patriotic
point
duty
of
to make
asking
sure
for
this
an ID of someone who's clearly like balding and in their 30s or 40s? Like,
well, you never know.
yeah.
I mean, could be
You
making
know,
it.
I do it for like an old woman. You know, makes them feel young again. Like, oh, really?
So you like old women, but you don't like
I
old
like old
men?
men. What
How much do you like old men?
normal amount?
Do older men
I
like you?
think older men are
think
just
older
as
men, like,
all
touch
right
you on the
as another
shoulders.
fucking person on the street. What is?
When was the last time an older man touched you?
All right, so I want to talk about alcohol on my end.
Yeah, what's new with you?
No, I was calling my dad, earlier this week, and I was, we were talking about because he likes to talk about his like weight loss journey. He's been, it's been very roller coaster-ish, very up and down. And
Nice.
I told him about how much I drank, and he was like blown away. Like I told him that I only drink every weekend, and how drunk I get is like, like I don't get piss drunk, but I told him about that one night where I drank 3/4 of the Smirnoff, for the podcast, the
Yeah.
one that I'm finishing off right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Holy shit!" And then I told him I didn't even get hungover the next day either. So he's like, so he sounded like he was legitimately concerned. But that was until I told him that I used to drink every night, when I first got here. But
Yeah. Now it's
yeah,
better.
it's getting better. I personally think for the environment I'm in and for the culture that, the organization provides, I think it's a normal amount, if not a normal
3-4
a normal amount
bottle.
of drinking. But
I mean, yeah.
I want to hear from you guys. Do you think I drink too much? Think I should roll it back?
I mean, no. I mean, if you're doing it like on the fucking weekend, I mean, that's probably more than I'd drink. But like if I really just wanted to say fuck it, I think I could down maybe half a bottle. I mean, it obviously depends on how big the
Yeah.
bottle is. I'm not talking gigantic, but like, yeah, if you want to get fucked up and you're enjoying yourself, yeah, it's fine. I don't. You're not doing it every day. Um, I don't
Four
see an
times a
issue with it.
month.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. I think before I definitely thought you were an
Yeah.
alcoholic. But no, I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. 3/4 of a bottle in one night is a bit
I took it
much,
overboard. I'd say, but I mean,
but it was a weekend, so
Okay.
you have to enjoy
I
it.
don't like this.
Well, I've
I
tried
feel
some
like
black.
I feel like it is
Like,
actually a little bad, with how much I've been drinking.
yeah, it is.
And I feel like
It is, but like,
I don't
it
want to
could be
hear
worse.
confirmation. I want to hear you need to better yourself. But it's
No, I'm not
also
gonna
like,
say that. I mean,
good to know that.
I enjoy drinking with other people.
Yeah.
I enjoy drinking with other people more than I enjoy smoking with other
I
people.
feel like it
That's
just
weird to
like
say.
it brings me out more socially. That's all. But
It does, yeah. I mean, for me, it definitely does. And then there's like a tipping point where
yeah,
it doesn't. I mean, I'm still social, but like, I can't express my socialness. So as long as I like find a good point, get there, and then just like stay there and let it fade away, I think that's a good.
that's
It's a
it.
pretty good
Yeah,
action
because when I
plan for
talk
a
when I
responsible.
talked to buddy used to be here, the white supremacist, he said, he's always just trying to find that point again. Which like he's legitimately like he's an alcoholic, like 100%.
Yeah.
You know, I think he has his own issues and there's reasons for that. But regardless, yeah, he said like he's just looking for that point. So he just keeps drinking and drinking until he doesn't feel it again.
Jesus.
So I feel like if I do it like once a week or some shit, it's just
Yeah.
it's enough where like I don't build a tolerance, but all I do is just pretty much maintain one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's good. That's like the best way to do it. Like you don't, because I know that was an issue when I was smoking like pretty frequently. Is like for the first couple months, maybe even year of smoking, I was not like common
yeah,
with it. I wasn't doing it frequently, so like half a bowl, well, pack a bowl twice, basically a full bowl to myself. That was fucking good. But then it gets to a point where like, okay, we've just smoked 3 bowls, and like, I'm definitely noticing it, but like, I'm not fucked. I could
yeah,
go with more. It's just more of a money investment, and it's diminishing returns. So it's finding that sweet spot of not losing your tolerance, but not increasing it
Yeah.
either. Because
I mean, that's
no tolerance with weed kind of sucks. Like I used to enjoy it a lot, and then I took a long break
yeah,
from it, and it it's just more fun when like you can kind of still feel it doesn't overpower you. It just makes what you're doing. You're still kind of you. You feel a bit different, obviously, because you've just taken some drugs, but you can enjoy the effects it has without like them being overwhelming, without it being the whole
right.
experience. It's better when the substance um, changes or enhances your experience, not becomes the
Yeah.
experience. Most depends on the drug, I'd say.
I
Weed and alcohol,
yeah,
I'd say the same. Like you don't want it to become the whole fucking. You just want the good
yeah.
stuff.
I used to think that I didn't have like too much of a addictive personality. I'll just
Oh, you definitely.
I'll do this one thing and then it's I can stop whenever I want. But I think with the
Yeah.
the nicotine, I think that one is an increasing like addiction.
All. Yeah. Well, it took a different medium to hit you, cause like, I mean, all three of us, we got told that cigarettes are
Yeah,
icky. I didn't try cigarettes for the longest time. They did a good job with the
they
marketing of
did.
that.
Yeah.
I felt the vapes because my friends were doing it, and I wanted to fit in, and it was kind of cool, and the flavors were nice, and I liked the head rush. I thought Zins were stupid, but like they got you.
I think
You
yeah,
just
because everyone around me did it, and I was like, all right, and it just
yep.
gave me like
Let me try.
literally straight to the bloodstream. So I mean,
Yeah.
vapes. I think vapes feel better than cigarettes. I don't feel much from cigarettes at all.
Well, yeah, they're. I mean, if you don't smoke one for a while and you're not like a high nicotine count person, cigarette you'll feel something from a cigarette, but it's
Dude, even before, I think it was just because I smoke cigars that I just don't feel much.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they're still. I kind of enjoy them. They're not as nice as my phase of smoking
Yeah,
cigarettes, but I don't know. You get into a habit and you start to enjoy it. Like it just feels good.
yeah,
Because I've never like I don't know. I think sometimes with like certain substances that we take, the ritual itself. Okay, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna sit in the bench. I'm gonna put on a jacket. I got my lighter. Got my cigarettes. I don't know. Sometimes just like the ritual associated with doing an activity is kind of fun. I mean, vapes though. There's no. I just pick
yeah.
it up and hit it. Like it's easy. I mean, kind of the same with alcohol. You just pour it and
Right.
drink it, or just fucking drink it, depending.
I think mine is bad because like I like to drink, and then right after like I'm at the peak, then I put in a Zin, and then like all those flavors, like not the flavors, just the feelings
Yeah,
combine, and it's
it's
perfect.
good.
You got the head
Yeah.
rush, and you got the fucking
And
excited.
look, no matter what, like drunk vapes are. I thought they were the shit.
Yeah,
All right, I thought it was good. Yeah, no, like it's not as much nicotine, but like it just feels
yeah,
better. And I don't know why. I think it also is just like a cool factor. Like I'd like to say I enjoy vapes more because you get like a flavor
right.
to it, and the flavors can be nice. But I won't lie, it doesn't look as cool
If
as
you
smoking a
ever
cigarette.
listen to Vince Gilligan's readings for like Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, one of them I heard, he was like, yeah, here's another scene of them like smoking outside, just because it looks cool. Like that's the
Yeah,
writers did that. He did it just because just because, it adds to a scene.
it just sets the mood.
If you're
Yeah, I
sitting
mean,
next
I
to a
remember
street
some of the
light or just sitting in a dark area drinking a cigarette.
I remember the scenes when Jesse was just smoking in the back of his house, and then Jane
Yeah,
comes. Yeah, I don't know.
it adds something.
It's the Hollywood effect. It's the
It is.
Hollywood effect, all right? You don't see any fucking Hollywood movies where characters just hitting a
Right.
vape. It
You
looks
also you
goofy
also have
in
to hold it
comparison.
right, otherwise it just looks weird.
Yeah, and then like the excessive cloud as
Yeah.
well. You just think, oh, you're a fucking asshat, aren't you? You're one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to have like a certain amount cloud holding it the correct way, and then you're on your way to
But
being
even then,
looking like a fucking greaser. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, but like even then, I don't know. You gotta use a lighter, or you gotta create
Yeah.
fire to light your tobacco, your cigarette. I don't know. What about you, Molly? Which looks cooler, smoking or vaping?
Smoke.
Were your parents smokers?
No,
Was anyone in your family smokers?
my sister.
I suppose she's not
She-
a cigarette smoker anymore.
No, she quit smoking cigarettes and then started vaping.
Do you think like after she gives birth, I could get her to smoke a cigarette?
Probably not. I don't.
What if I like
I
tell
don't know.
her that if you don't smoke a cigarette, you're not invited to our wedding?
I think she's gonna know it's a joke.
Oh, I'm not joking.
She's still invited.
No. I'll make sure. I'll do the.
Yeah.
I'll be in the front. I'll be doing ocular inspections, checking IDs.
Yeah, we have a suspicious female. We're gonna have to take her in
Yeah.
for questioning. I don't know. Why did you never want to smoke, Molly? I mean, I never wanted to as a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw my parents do it. I thought it was fucking
I used to
stupid.
be a fucking asshole. Like I would just be judgmental and like, oh, she's
Oh, yeah,
smoking
same.
again, huh? Jesus Christ.
Molly, were you ever judgmental?
About smoking?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
That's a lie.
maybe that's the issue. Like, if you start out judgmental,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hated the smell. Like I wasn't like judging someone for smoking. I just absolutely.
But
hated
low
the
key, you
smell.
kind of hated them. Like they're smoking here of all places. This
like,
smell
you never had it
emanates
here
in
in
the
the
area
backseat
now.
of
Now I have to move.
yeah,
Really?
really.
You're
Never
just
did
that
that.
passive? All right.
Yeah. Maybe that's the issue. Like, if you hate the person for what they're doing,
Yeah, you just walk
you
to a
know,
gas
why
station.
leave
All right,
that?
let's see how good this shit really is. Damn. All right,
Yeah,
it's not
maybe
that
that.
bad.
But like, if you just hate the smell
Yeah.
itself, it's like you're not trying to spite a person. You just fucking hate the smell. This is interesting psychology. See, I think what we should do a science experiment. When Molly and I have kids, I won't smoke in front of
Yeah.
them,
Molly's going to.
but like I'll make sure. Well, no, I'll just make sure that like they experience the smell of cigarette
Yeah.
smoke. But then you, on the other hand, I want you and your girlfriend to be a fucking
Well,
shame.
you're assuming
All
that
right?
I can
Want you guys
find
to
anyone
smoke
to begin with. But
Well, then you and your boyfriend.
all
I
right.
want you guys to be smoking 24/7. All right, with your child locked in the house with you, and I just want like we'll give it 18 years, and we'll see. Like, don't let them smoke ever, but like as soon as they get it on their own, like we'll hire a PI to just like
Yeah.
see what they do.
That could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, I think that's also like with me and marijuana smoke. You know, I hate the smell. It just smells like pure
Yeah.
skunk. I don't like it. But
Yeah,
like
I don't mind it.
you know,
And I
I
got
want to,
addicted as a kid.
you know, I'd implore myself to
Well,
try it.
I guess we're different in that because I remember smelling it as a kid. My dad, you know, he when we were passing through Colorado, like, hey, look what
Yeah.
I got, and yeah, you want to smell it? I didn't like the smell, but I didn't like. He wasn't obnoxious with it. Like he had me smell it once or twice when he bought it. I was like,
I've never
okay,
like smelt the
it smells
product. I've always
interesting.
just smelt smoke of it.
Yes, the product honestly smells better than the smoke because it's like, I guess it's there's more
Yeah.
aroma.
So
to
I
the
mean, maybe
product because, you know,
since you taste you smelt the source of it, and then you smelt,
yeah,
you know, the after effect. You're kind of like you got different senses. It's activating different parts of the brain. I grew up, you know, rural parts of, you know, the state that you're in right now, and I smelt a lot of skunk, you know, and so it just permeates that
I
part of
don't.
the brain for me. Like, oh, it smells like skunk over here, so it just smells like
I
shit to
see
me.
that as I see that as so stupid. Like it does not smell like skunk. I think
It
it's
smells the
Yeah, it
same
does.
thing.
it
It
literally
smells
does
like
not.
skunk, bro. You,
It
It
literally does
really
not.
fucking does.
See, that pisses me off. It doesn't smell
so
like skunk.
that's
It
that's
smells
my
like
theory
marijuana.
though, because you
It smells
smell
like marijuana.
more of like the aroma and what the.
Yeah, marijuana smells like skunk.
All right, we're just fighting right now.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's my theory though, is that like since you smelt the source, you have more of that, you know, smell palette. Whereas,
Maybe
you know, Molly and I, all we really like smelt was
you get
the after
yeah,
effect and skunk, and
yeah.
so it's more associated with that. It's like, you know how other cultures, like some of them, they don't have certain color or names for certain colors because it doesn't apply to them, so they don't really notice those colors as much.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I mean, it's just like
That is-
different parts of the smell we don't notice.
I wonder if there's a medical study.
That would be
about this.
interesting.
I mean, it'd be hard to do like an actual study because I don't know what parameters because you'd have to like monitor children in your childhood. I don't know. It's interesting though. I'm trying to think. I guess there wasn't like a whole lot of other drugs that smelled like I've smelled beer when I was a kid. And I tasted it. It tasted
hate
dog
the smell
shit.
of beer.
I mean, there's
All
some
right.
beers that
My
smell
first-
all right
I
now.
think I hate the smell of like everything.
Why don't you smell cocaine? Or it's
Like-
got no scent to it.
Well, like any sort of beer, alcohol stuff, I don't like. The
You should
smell
smell
of.
cocaine
some
real
smell like
close.
I mean, some alcohol it smells like death, especially after a
Yeah.
hangover. You smell it and it's just you're straight back in.
Well, I
fucking
don't know what
death,
that's
right?
like.
That sucks.
All I get is a headache, and then I drink water, and it's gone. Dude, my alcohol buff is like 90%. All right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that's good. You're setting new scores for your family
Yeah.
tree. I think I'm a disappointment.
I don't
to
think it's
mine
a new
in
score.
that
I
regard.
think it's just in my blood because my mom also doesn't get hangovers.
Interesting. Well, like the fact that your dad was so surprised at like how much you were drinking, that makes me think that he's never even been that much.
He is, yeah, his hangovers are bad apparently. But yeah, no, we can throw that in the game somewhere.
Okay. I'm really trying to think like what got my intro. I guess it really was just that first time trying something and how fucking intense of an experience it was. It's like I don't know, you're drawn to things that make you feel alive, I guess. Like
You're right.
even though it was fucking terrifying for the first hour, like after that it was kind of like, oh, this is
No
very
matter
interesting.
what you do or what you take, adrenaline is literally the best drug.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of there is a little bit of adrenaline in trying substances, especially ones for the first time that like you've heard people die from fentanyl overdoses, like feel a bit fucking nervous about trying coke for the first time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess maybe it's that adrenaline feeling of like trying something new that's possibly dangerous. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, mixed in with the fun effects of the whatever it is you're taking. I don't know. We'll try Coke together. It'll be a fun time.
Coca-Cola?
Yeah, Coca-Cola. Fuck
Oh, by
Pepsi.
the way, my jump was canceled, so that was fun. You know, like
Hey,
it's been a while. It's been a
Very good.
long time since I've jumped, so I guess we'll. Supposedly I'm
good. We're
jumping
really
this
trying to
week,
kind
so
of-
I guess we'll see what happens.
We're trying to build the nerves again. We're trying to make you scared.
Dude, I think it's working. What the? Yeah, I guess it's starting to get a little sketchy again. It's starting to like.
You've lost the familiarity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should start like trying. I remember trying this some years ago, trying to figure out how to lucid dream. I never got far with it.
I
like,
did. I
ever,
did try that at one point. I did successfully, kind of accidentally, but like, perfected sleep paralysis. But that was I feel like I talked about it like on our second iteration of the podcast when I was in college.
Maybe.
I did because
Yeah.
like I had notes of it and everything.
I don't know. It would be fun though to like be good at it.
Lucid
I don't know how to
dreaming,
do
yeah,
it.
that'd
I
be
rarely.
supposedly like it's like you're not supposed to tell the other people in your dream that they're not real and that you're lucid dreaming.
Why not? That'd be like one of the first things
I don't know.
Just-
Apparently, like I
wake
forgot why, but you're not supposed to. Maybe it's like you're
What if
breaking the
when-
matrix. It's like you're telling them like, "Hey, you're a
Yeah.
simulation." Can you imagine? Can you imagine
What if-
telling fake me that I'm a simulation? I'd become
What
like
if you
you'd wake up in like fucking cold sweat. I'd destroy you.
But yeah, I think like your dream self would become violent because you're like you yourself are telling a projection of yourself that you're not real. I'm better.
Oh, I mean, if you
and
dreamt
it's kind of
yourself in third person, like you in first person told you, like, you're not real, bro. That would be trippy as fuck. I was talking about like if you told me, like if I happened to be in your lucid dream,
okay.
I'm just saying I become like the final boss of your dream.
Well, I'm gonna fucking. I swear to God, if I ever have the chance, like if I'm in a dream and I kind of realize, because I've
Yeah.
had that before.
Yeah.
Like you know that you're dreaming, you can't really like move your body, but you're kind of aware of what's happening. But like if I can ever move my body and I have free will, I'm fucking saying, yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? I'm
Yeah.
asleep, bitch.
Especially if like you know
And
that
then
you
I'll
can
wake
do
up.
whatever you want. Can you imagine
Yeah,
like okay, well, I guess I have the strength of the Rock now, and you just like punch them into the sky. Like Team
yeah.
Rocket, and then
Well,
you
I've
see
had
that
trouble.
little like ding.
Yeah, wingsuit gliding.
Yeah,
Seems
you
like it'd
just
be
start you just equip your
exhilarating.
Elytra. Have, yeah.
Elytra, but yeah,
Have you seen that Minecraft AI thing?
no.
All right, well, that
Wait, what?
reminds me of that because yeah, it looks like you're dreaming. Dude, I forgot what it.
I've seen some like I think you sent me the TikTok and I
Yeah,
saw it, so I wonder if that's why it showed up on my For You page. But Fallout New Vegas recreated with AI, and
it's Oasis,
yeah, it's
right?
interesting, man. What?
Huh?
Here, I'm sending it to. If you use the QR code and go to our Discord, you can find that I sent the link to the what I was talking about, GitHub. Oh, I can play the demo right now. Village outpost. Waiting for my turn. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Holy shit, I'm playing right now.
Whoa, this looks like Minecraft.
Yeah. And you start stepping forward. Okay. Can I take
looks
some
like
grass?
it looks like
Okay.
low quality Minecraft.
Well, I have a carrot. I can't scroll to get it. Can't get any of these items. Oh, yeah, can I
I like how it gives you a 15-minute timer.
I don't even drop into the dirt hole I just made. It's closed up. I made a Okay. I made a hole and then it just closed up by itself. This is good.
I just spawned in a
Holy
stone
shit.
biome.
Dude, all this hay that just spawned?
Oh shit.
This is interesting. This is
It's
actually
so the
like
frame
actually
rate.
like interesting. I mean, the frame rate sucks, but it's interesting to play
Yeah,
while like slightly intoxicated. I'd imagine this is what it feels like, you know. Oh shit.
I'm at lava.
I
I
have
think that's
torches
lava.
now out of nowhere. Oh shit. What's behind me? Whoa. Everything changed. Now I'm in like a mountain.
It's crazy. Like every time I think I know what AI is capable of, we just get weird shit like this, and then
It's
it's
weird because it feels like it's a dream.
yeah. I kind of see what you mean. I think.
That looks awful.
All right, I know it looks awful, but like I'm trying to see if I can find an animal or something.
Dude, my torches turned into trees. Dude, this has to be like some fucking like drunk experience or some fucking.
This is drunk Minecraft. I think in 20 years from now, life is going to be very interesting with how integrated AI is with a lot of
Yeah.
things. Wait, that's right. Yeah, that's even more crazy thinking about it. This isn't actually, I'm not
Yeah.
playing Minecraft. This is AI generated. That is,
This is insane. I mean, the controllers are the same. Like, it knows what they do for the controls. I don't
Yeah.
think the health bar actually works, nor the food. But I mean,
I mean,
the
I'm
fact.
I'm at 2 heart. I fell a lot, but
Oh, you okay? So you actually did damage.
hey, is that a chicken or is it a sheep? That's gotta be a What the fuck?
What?
What the fuck? They're just red blobs. I can't even
Yeah.
see what they are. Or is that lava?
It's turned into dirt.
What the fuck?
Dude.
AI generation is interesting.
Oh yeah.
My environment is changing on me.
I jumped from like an insane height, and I still maintain my hearts, but I'm still.
This is kind of like a dream, though. Like everything changes. I don't know. Nothing really stays the same.
My food bar is like at 2, so the food bar, I guess, does work.
Yeah, the keys are very delayed, but it's interesting.
Whoa! Whoa! Hold on. All right, that changed a lot. I wish I could screen record this. I should have.
This is interesting.
Dude, that's trippy.
Yeah.
It turned from like a rock formation to like it's all grass plains now because I saw wooden fences, and then
Yeah.
this is insane.
Well, this is what taking acid is kind of like sometimes when you take like two.
See,
two or
that's
more tabs.
that's why 2026 is going to be a thing because I need to see this in real life, IRL, live. But
I mean, I have to. Oh,
but anyway, yeah, that's Oasis model hic github.io.
interesting.
So yeah, have fun. Have fun with that information. I thought it was pretty good. That's insane. I just learned that this week. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
I might have to
yeah,
head out for like 5
Got it.
10 minutes.
All right.
I was gonna say once I get back though, I do want to talk about the website that I found out about.
Okay.
I need.
That's right now.
Well, no, I gotta find a bag to transport my goods
Yeah.
in.
Your goods ins. Okay. Yeah.
Here
Speaking of this week, a lot has happened. We have a new world order. What are your thoughts on that? Everything can change. Everyone's outraged.
About Donald Trump winning the election.
Yeah.
I'm not super happy about it. I didn't want him to win.
Why didn't you want him to win?
Why didn't I?
Yeah. Everyone's reasons are different.
Because I think he's an awful, terrible person.
Okay. That's interesting. Didn't one of your votes go to him too?
What?
Did you vote?
No, I did not vote.
Why did you vote? Why did you vote for? I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter considering our state's history, but
yeah. That's kind of. I didn't want to take the time to go out and vote, and by the time I was like, oh, I should maybe think about doing a mail-in vote. It was kind of too late to do that, so I just was like, well, I'm in Minnesota.
I mean, eventually that's the concerning part. Like, eventually that's going to be everyone's mentality, because if you've ever heard of that theory of whatever the theory is, where like somebody needs help, and somebody a stranger sees it, and they're like, the next person will help them, and then the bystander theory.
I don't think it's what it's called, but
like,
oh shit.
So like, oh, we're gonna vote blue anyway, I feel like eventually it's going to turn into a red state just because of the bystander theory. And you have all these old fucks voting red anyway. But anyway, yeah, what brings you to the feelings that he's an awful, terrible person?
Well, Jesus Christ. Mabel. Mainly because of how many allegations are against him, sexual assault allegations. That I guess I don't know if he was like actually like friends with Jeffrey Epstein, but I feel like they were pretty.
He was definitely on the island. He was definitely there. He definitely was affiliated with that.
Yeah, so I don't think he can be seen as a good person after being affiliated with Epstein Island.
I mean that, and I'd say the insurrection thing. The whole like the stand down and stand by. Like he never really commented on that stand by thing, which is kind of funny. But
I feel like the main thing is I keep just thinking about all the people that like came forward against him, saying that he did these awful things. Like, if I was a person, if I came forward about someone and they ended up being the president, I would fucking kill myself.
Yeah.
Like, I would actually kill myself. I would rather be dead than have a person that assaulted me in such a high power of office.
That's a fair assessment, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, there's those two, and I think it's interesting that he's going to put it up to state for abortion. I mean, I think that's going to happen anyway, just because that was overturned by Roe v. Wade, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's horrible, just because, if you ban it in one spot, everyone's just going to flock to another state, and then by the time they get there, it might be too late. And then people don't want to go through the process if it happened to be one of those like small circumstances.
But it's because I'm just thinking there's like people that have actually died because the state's refusing to give them a medical procedure because they don't want to lose their medical license.
Well, I think it's interesting too because, it's a small, statistical circumstance until it happens to you, and then it's a big problem. So
yeah.
And then there's going to be a whole new process. You might as well just go to a state that, allows it. I think there should be a limit to it, a limit of months. But
like there's definitely like that is absolutely not okay to like do it at a certain point.
What's not okay?
Abortions after a certain point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean 8 months in. Yeah.
Yeah. No one should be getting an abortion that far along.
Right. Which I think is also something that's extremely rare to begin with as well, as someone who's waiting that long.
Yeah.
I don't even think that exists.
I think at most, like, if it is like the fact that it died while being inside of you, it still isn't like, it's more so.
Was it a myopic? I don't know if that's the right word.
I don't know if it is either. But like, you'd have to go into like a medically induced labor or get an emergency C-section or something to get it out of you. It's not a abortion procedure.
Yeah, it's two different things at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I disagree with the making it state by state basis. I don't think it's too controversial to just have it be like a federal law. During the third trimester. No. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's like the best compromise I feel like you could get between both sides, because it's plenty of time to figure out, can you afford this? Can you do it? Yada yada.
Is insurance going to cover this? Which I think in most circumstances it probably should.
Should. Does it? It depends on the state now. I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Well, if the procedure follows the state laws, then I'm sure insurance will cover it. To whatever point they cover it, but I get. So I've seen him talk about it, like Trump, his position on it, where he doesn't like it at all, but he thinks that it should be like up to. Well, he disagrees with the Supreme Court's decision to make it state by state, because it is democratic, it is democracy. You have to vote for it, but like that also kind of says it, just because the majority of people vote for something does not make it. You don't have to agree with it.
It just
right?
it doesn't mean that's the right thing. You know, everyone could vote on 100% of our budget should go to, the military. It doesn't make it the right thing.
Yeah. No. So I don't think you should be forced to. Yeah, you don't have to live by other people's morals, the majority of the people's morals. I mean, as long as it. Then you say, what's within reason? Because obviously, I'm not in favor of legalizing murder, even if like 70% of a state wanted it legal.
I mean, that's a lot of the arguments, though, is that an abortion is.
I know your favorite comedian, Bill Burr, had a bit about this. Like he's pro-choice, but at the same time, he thinks, you're still killing a baby. It's like, I think the comparison was you put a cake in the oven, and you take the cake out and you fucking throw it on the ground.
Interesting. Which one was that?
No, I don't know. I just remember that's Bill Burr's bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I'm obviously, there's too much. Eventually there's a point of you've waited too long, and you're scooping dead baby parts out of your body. I think that's probably like, it's probably a little too far.
Yeah. It's a weird thing, because I don't know what, like, it has eyes and a heartbeat and legs and arms developing inside of a person.
I guess there's that whole like argument of when does life begin?
Well, according to the billboards in my town, life begins after 10 days. I don't.
But
But
then there's also.
Is that where the nervous system develops? Do they feel it?
It can't live on its own.
Do you remember being in the womb?
Is it really a life yet?
Yeah.
Because it can be.
But then, like, the other point that I've heard about that is like people in a vegetative state or a coma.
Yeah.
Are they alive?
That's another. Why can people choose to pull the plug on someone? Like, family members can choose that. But it's wrong to get an abortion for a life that hasn't had any experience.
That person won't have a chance at a life.
I mean, yeah, but
I think that'd be the argument, is like, this person's for sure, they're fucked. They're gonna be brain dead for the rest of their life. There's like 0% chance they're coming back. Whereas with an unborn child, like, assuming
it could be a life. It isn't one yet.
It's not guaranteed, but like I'd say there's a greater chance that a woman could successfully carry a baby to term than a person who's been in a coma for 10 years or comatose, whatever, waking up all of a sudden.
Okay.
That would be what I'd imagine their argument is, but at the same time, no, I get what you're saying.
But that would still be murder. Would it?
It would be sanctioned murder.
Yeah.
For a life that's already... So, sanctioned murder is okay if the life is basically over.
Okay.
Because, it's a done deal, but sanctioned murder for a life with possibilities still.
Yeah.
We draw a lot of people.
I think okay. So I found on abortionfinder.org. Abortion is legal throughout pregnancy in Minnesota. There is no ban or limit on abortion in Minnesota based on how far along in pregnancy you are.
Interesting. I just
Planned Parenthood.org says
states in it.
Minnesota, California,
all right, hold on.
New York.
Abortion and Planned Parenthood.org, St. Paul, Minnesota, says in-clinic abortion is offered 23 weeks and 5 days after the first day of your menstrual period. After your last menstrual period. 23 weeks.
That is interesting. Yeah, I was just looking up AI overview. According to this, less than 1% are performed in the third trimester. 93% of abortions occur in the first, 6 in the second, and then 1% after 21 weeks
Yeah.
or more. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, ideally, already states have already voted on this. I know Florida and South Dakota and Nebraska, I think, just recently voted for tighter restrictions. I think with like the 6 weeks and then life of the mother, rape or incest. I think, which is the 6 weeks part is fucking stupid. That's barely enough time to even know that you may or may not be pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it's up to
I
the
want to
will of
know
the
how
people.
they're like, because with rape is seen as an okay thing to get an abortion with. How do they like? Does the woman just say she was?
Yeah, maybe
raped?
that's
Or like, how are they supposed to
prove it? Because yeah, you can't always just go with, well, yeah, this person was convicted during this criminal trial. This is a for sure thing. You know, you can't. I wonder, yeah. I'd wonder if people would just say that. Women in states that have restrictive abortion rights, like, okay, the system is fucked. You can't really prove that I wasn't raped. I still want this abortion. See, I wouldn't. It just sounds like going through a bunch of hoops when, like, it should just be. You don't need to go through all the hoops.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's in the will of the people, I guess.
Well, you know, whoever side is dominated on, a certain branch of the government.
Well, I mean, I'd say, yeah, more than likely, like, you could make a fair assumption that, like, most Republicans would probably be voting against measures like that. I'll be honest, because you called me a fucking dumb cocksucker last night. I think my bias started out as a kid with the Republican Party, very politically invested
Yeah.
father who I remember directly telling me Obama's in favor of killing babies. It's like one of the first things I remember about learning about politics. My world leader, he wants to kill babies. I think I've broken out of like the mind
Yeah.
virus of like believing propaganda. I would say I probably lean more right wing than left.
I would
wing.
okay.
But maybe I don't know what the fuck that means.
I would kind of.
Do you agree with more Republican views or more Democratic views?
I don't know. You'd have to give me example. You know what? I know we've done this before, but I'm taking a political quiz.
Yeah, you should find one and then submit one, and then we'll talk about it after our break.
Yeah.
But
wait, no. Before we go on break, I was gonna ask what So, did you already ask the question to Molly? Like, what were her thoughts on Trump winning and whatnot?
yeah.
Did you answer the question?
Me?
Yeah. Did you?
I haven't.
What were your thoughts?
Either way, it would have been interesting. I am kind of. I don't know. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be more interesting, at least long term. Just because he did a lot of stuff. At least it was reported a lot. Biden, of course, I feel like whenever libtard is in office, they don't really do a lot, just because the news doesn't report it as much as like Republictard is in office. So
it's not as
yeah,
controversial, or the figure behind it isn't as controversial, so you don't hear about it as much.
I think it's gonna be better in some cases when he puts his foot down on on our adversaries and people who want to
Yeah,
like fuck around and find out. But I mean, within the country, I think it's not that great to be an isolationist country, especially with like we have a currently we have a global world order of trade and helping our allies out and whatnot. So I think it would, if anything, just not benefit us as much if we're just very internal. But uh, regardless, I feel like no matter who's in office, not a lot is going to change.
no, probably not. No, I mean, there's some things that can be done nationwide, but like it's hard to. I mean, as far as trade goes, I'd want to look into, because everyone's worried about tariffs and increasing prices, and I have a lot of thoughts
Yeah.
about that. One of the things I wanted to look into, that like we're not the only country that would ever employ tariffs. I think our European allies, they have tariffs on our
Yeah.
products coming into their countries. So I mean, it just the fact that you use tariffs alone is not the end of the fucking world.
I mean, it's
It's employed by everyone to some extent. Going too far with it, like
that
I
can start
think,
to affect our economy if the stuff that we're putting
yeah,
tariffs on isn't stuff we're producing ourselves.
yeah. I know one of the examples he went with back in his first term was like Chinese steel. So this is going to tie into my second point of this argument. All of our phones are manufactured overseas because the labor is cheaper. There's a massive warehouse in China called Foxconn. There was reporting on this back in 2010. Due to the amount of employee suicides, what they do is they built nets. So when people tried to kill themselves because of their fucking job, the nets would catch them and they could go back to work,
Yeah, that's old
assumingly.
news.
Yeah, it's old news, but I don't think really much has changed
Yeah.
in the terms of like a lot of our goods and services are manufactured overseas by people in horrible working conditions, way fucking worse, because they don't have labor standards, they don't have unions, they don't have
But that's why
OSHA,
we choose it,
they don't
because
have
it's cheaper.
it's cheaper. Yeah, so I think it can be a moral dilemma. Like I've heard people on podcasts talk about this, but if iPhone if there was an iPhone manufactured in America, but it cost like $300 or $400 more versus the iPhones made overseas, but it's made with presumably borderline slave labor, terrible conditions. You have to feel guilty about buying it, supposedly.
Do you? Or what do you mean
What would you go
supposedly?
with? Well, I mean, most people put it out of mind.
Yeah.
Like I think I know there was an episode I listened to, cobalt mines in the Congo. These are like some of the worst conditions of all time. Like you have no breathing protection. You're working all fucking day. You're getting the bare minimum just to feed yourself, your family, your kids, who all work in the mines with you
Yeah.
as well. It's a horrible life. But cobalt is used in so many of our electronics. I mean, electric vehicles, massive amounts of cobalt, and it's not like we can really source. There's not huge cobalt deposits in the
Yeah.
U.S. There's just not. So I mean, you can put it out of sight and out of mind that a lot of your nice little goodies are cheaply made by people that are. We think we're getting exploited by our fucking bosses. We're not getting paid enough. Talk to those guys. They're not
Yeah.
getting paid
I
enough.
mean, yeah. I was just talking about obviously if you put the exploit in mind, then you can feel guilty. But yeah, I guess a lot of people do put it in the back burner. So
Yeah, because it sucks to think about. Like, I like my phone. It's cool. Phones
yeah,
are fucking incredible.
that was
But
kind of the plot of The Good Place.
I never saw it.
It's a show about you go to where this person is in. Supposedly they made it in heaven, and somehow like it's
Yeah.
there's like a whole mix up, and she feels like, I shouldn't be here. I'm in heaven. I was a horrible person, and she because they were like a call center person that like exploited people, and yeah, the whole plot ends up being they're actually in hell because because everyone's kind of subject to the taking advantage of other people in those poorer positions. We export our garbage to other countries. Our imports are all fucking has child labor behind it, or really low wages behind it as well. And I haven't watched the whole thing, but that's pretty much the synopsis of it. And yeah, synopsis.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll get it.
All right.
No, so I know as far as like the tariffs go, I think this is my argument for best case scenario is like products overseas are hit with a tariff, incentivizing companies to make the products domestically to avoid the tariff. If their corporate tax rate is lowered to 15%, if they're based in the US, then the extra money that they would receive from the tax cuts would kind of it would still retain their profit, so they wouldn't be forced to increase the price of goods in order to maintain profit. Right. And then another thing, like if you still have to stay competitive, like if you get hit with a 10% tariff and your products are more expensive, but there's another company that circumvents the tariff and they can sell the same exact fucking thing for cheaper, everyone's going to go to that. All that is to say, there's a way it can be done,
Yeah.
I think. I'd assume, where it doesn't fuck everyone over. But I mean, there's also ways, if you just slap on a 30% tariff to all goods coming into the US day one, yeah, I think that would kind of fuck us.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
I guess a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, how did this victory make you feel? Well, I suppose, did you already answer that? You don't think anything's gonna change?
Yeah, I already kind of answered that.
Yeah. What do you hope is gonna happen?
Hopefully, I mean, obviously, if we produce things more internally, it's gonna be better. So I hope that happens, especially with silicon, because that's the main reason why we're focused on Taiwan. We don't really give a shit about the people there. We just want, because they're their main producer of silicon and microchips. I'm not saying like fuck those people. They don't deserve to be an independent nation. I'm just saying that's the whole reason we're backing it, and we probably should have a backup plan just in case something doesn't work out like we want to.
Maybe that's why we oppose 25% tariffs on all chips coming in from Taiwan to incentivize a company to create a chip company in
Which
the US.
we are working on right now.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah. I remember Biden passed the CHIPS Act. I know that's just the name of it, but I don't know what the fuck else it does. But
All right. I'll be back in a second.
yeah. Yeah. Fuck it. I guess I'll go with mine. It was the first time I voted. The guy I won. That's great. I don't know how I feel. Honestly, I'm surprised. I didn't think he was gonna win.
See, I was hopeful he wasn't, but I had a feeling he was gonna win.
I guess we were the opposite on that.
Yeah.
I guess you could say I'm in the honeymoon stage. I'm too hopeful that oh, you have decent people around you. This isn't your first time doing this. You don't have to worry about re-election, so you can just do the good things without having to worry about what the fuck people say. I mean, it is kind of like way more optimistic than you ever should be for a presidential candidate to really do much. But I don't know. I guess ideally, find a way to increase the comfort zone of working Americans, whether they're able to make more money, housing costs go down all around. Just get the economy in better shape so that people can, live a middle class life similar to what it was like to live one in the 80s, where you work a full time job. You can go on a fucking vacation every few years. You can buy a new car. Student loans aren't the end of the world. You can pay them off, etc. Um, Ending wars. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know how that one would go, though, because I just saw a clip of Zelensky talking about how Trump wanted to end the war in Ukraine. I'd have to look at the video again, but he made it sound like he was trying to move to peace too fast. Like, yeah, I don't think it's going to work, buddy.
That that I personally disagree with.
For my take on it, Ukraine is not going to win if we. They're not going to win, no matter what. The land that's been taken, unless it's conceded in peace talks, without actual U.S. troops or other troops on the ground fighting with them, they're not getting the land
I think
back.
that's incorrect.
You think they can fucking take back the land?
I think
they
with enough
lost
funding, I mean, maybe some help would probably be essential to their win, but I think
what kind of help? Like more funding?
I mean, obviously funding, but like also if they had other troops on the ground, yeah, that would help them. But I think even if we didn't put other troops on the ground, we keep funding them, keep giving them the supplies they need. I think eventually.
Fuck that! Why do you want to fund other people's wars? I know that they're not our ally, right? Ukraine's not a part of NATO.
That's an insane.
They're not.
That's an insane thing to say, but
they are a trade ally. They're not in NATO, right? We have no. Ukraine's an ally because Russia's their enemy, and we just want to drain.
They're useful to us because it's more land that NATO has. If and when the war ends. The only reason it's drawn out so long is because it's a modern war and weapons are so cheap. They can just keep funding, random little fucking UAVs and keep throwing people in as cannon fodder. Eventually, it's just going to keep going on.
Yeah, so you make peace now.
Okay, how would you make peace?
You concede, all right? There's no fucking winning.
What do you mean there's no winning?
Ukraine,
they're already weakened.
Okay, sure.
What do you mean? Okay. All right.
I don't think that Ukraine is going to be able to take back the land that they've lost without massive either funding, which is our money, going toward them, or troops, either our troops or NATO country troops, which would just in turn, it's an escalation. You send more troops. I mean,
let's throw our troops in there. Then. They already escalated.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Why do you want?
They already escalated it.
So that's why you don't escalate and you try and.
They're the ones who escalated it, though.
I think the best way to end it. And
okay, yeah, I guess the best way to end it is just like, fuck you guys, we're going home, and then we just stop funding, and then
you're not letting me make a point. The best way to end it, I don't think there's a foreseeable chance that Ukraine could win without our continued support.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do it by themselves. It's not in our best interests to keep funding a war that we're sending billions to just to drain foreign nations' military, which they're kind of like a paper tiger, all right? They're not the steamroll. We already know their capabilities. They're measured. We know their swing, so to say, at least roughly. I think there's got to be some kind of concessions that can be made. I know there was some talk about like a buffer zone, kind of like the DMZ in North and South Korea, something akin to that. As far as, but like you can also throw in promises or treaties or contracts, make them sign like, hey, if you break this, we'll fuck you. But the idea is, okay, we won't. Ukraine won't join NATO. I think that's invading NATO or invading Ukraine was kind of a batshit thing to do, but at the same time, like I was trying to think, a very easy example is what if fucking Mexico joined whatever military alliance Russia has? The United States would not be cool with that. It's like Cuban Missile Crisis all over again. You have your shit too close to my home. Back the fuck off. Ukraine does not need to join NATO. I mean, even outside of this conflict, they have a lot of fucking shit going on internally. I want to buy a book about their politics because I've heard a lot of interesting shit.
That's interesting. But, so for me, I personally don't give a shit. If NATO expands, I think that if anything is better for us. If Russia is our adversary. Yeah, I don't give a shit about them. Yeah, it's better for us. I don't care about them.
That's how you get more war. You're funding the military. Of course, the military boy funds the military-industrial complex. You don't have to give everything to your enemy, but if you want actual open dialogue and resolution outside of conflict, you have to make concessions on both sides. I'm not defending the fact that they invaded. A lot of innocent people died without a good reason.
Right. So should we just give them Ukraine like we did Georgia?
No, you don't need to. You don't give them the whole fucking country. You just need to find a way to stop.
So we say, okay, pat them on the ass. Good job. You invaded these parts, so you can just keep these. I feel like there should be repercussions for the shit they invaded.
What do you think should happen then? What do you think should happen?
I mean, I feel like eventually it's not going to be a stalemate. I don't think we should fund more. We've been giving them a lot of money, but a lot of the assets we've given them and a lot of the money that you see are just old, outdated equipment that we gave to Ukraine that they've used and that they've successfully, used against Russia. I think they've been adversaries for a long ass time, and they've been, playing their cards and seeing where this goes. I don't think that they imagine this much backing as much as we're giving them right now, which is a good thing. I think we need to show them they need to back the fuck off and stop invading other shit just because it happened to be part of the USSR. So I think there should be repercussions, not like, oh, good job, you invaded this, so you can just have it.
So what kind of repercussions? Like we start invading Russia? We fund Ukraine to push that far in?
We just get Ukraine's land back. Why should we incentivize them invading other countries?
I mean, they did it because I need to.
That's one of their reasons is because NATO's expanding. Oh shit! But that's regardless is a dumbass reason because USSR was there.
It's not a dumbass reason why you don't want a military alliance on your border.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's a fair reason for them, but personally, I don't care.
It's a fair reason for us too. Imagine fucking Mexico becomes a puppet of Russia, or they're in a fucking military alliance.
Yeah, but it's funny because that wouldn't happen because we're too strong.
Okay, that wouldn't happen. But imagine if it did.
If it did, yeah, obviously we wouldn't like it, right? Because it's the same fucking thing. That's like, but they're literally on Europe. No matter what, NATO's going to be close to them.
Yeah, but they're
no matter what
further away. They're a little bit further away.
But Moscow's a little bit further away from. It's not our fault that Moscow decided to be right next to fucking Europe. That's their positioning. I just think ending it early and saying, oh yeah, let's just, the peace talks are you keep the land that you have, and then the other people can, Ukrainians can keep the land that, that they have left. I think all that would be is just incentivization. But I guess that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if it's incentivizing them to just keep on pushing.
Because they did it in Georgia and we didn't do anything. But the second we do it to Ukraine, all of a sudden funding it is a problem.
I think funding it is kind of fucking ridiculous. Even if it is just old military. You know what? Let me look up how the funding.
All right, so you think
is.
you either think that we should be isolationist or like we shouldn't.
No.
We should still trade with countries that, you know, are useful to us, and if they're not, then and they ask for help from a superior military organization, that we just say fuck off, just trade with us. All right, well, while you're looking into that, we're should go on break. We've been on for about an hour 20 minutes.
We all know that it's election year, and the stakes have never been higher. How do you know who to vote for? Who's gonna lead this country into a better future for you, your family, and your future family? Well, that's where I come in, folks. I'm pleased to announce that I, Mr. Matrix, will be shifting my mayoral campaign into the presidential race of the United States of America in an effort of pure patriotism to save this country and set us back on the right course so that we remain at the top of the leaderboard in economic prowess, education, liberty, and to retain the greatest culture the world has ever known. I'm not simply trying to make America great again. I'm going to make us invincible again. No more having to worry about what other countries do and if they threaten our interests. As the greatest country on earth, I will personally see to the assimilation of all other countries in the world into a new empire. I do solemnly swear to dedicate myself to you, the people who vote for me, to make good on my promises. I plan to legalize all drugs and begin selling them at every Walmart and Target across the country. I'm gonna abolish the police, abolish the Department of Education. Any company worth over $25 billion, dissolving it. And that money is gonna get reinvested into the American people, you guys. I'm gonna legally change X back into Twitter. I'm gonna build a 50-foot pure titanium wall across our southern border, manned 24/7 by anti-aircraft weapons. I'm gonna give out new homes for free, and I'm gonna ban guns for personal use across the entire country. You know what? Not the entire country, across the entire world, because I'm also gonna take over the world and make other people in other countries work for us, and so much more. So if you'd like a more detailed version of how I'm going to enact these radical policy changes, then please visit the opinion-planet.com website to learn more about how I'm gonna save you. Folks, I'm counting on you to do the right thing and make this year the most important year in the history of the world. Vote Mr. Matrix to save you and to save the future.
And now, we return to our hosts.
All right, we're back.
Okay, so I just finished the quiz. I'll post the fucking screenshot and then what it says I am. But to answer your question, can you repeat the question? I have an answer, but just like lay it out one more time.
What was it?
It was like if I think a trading partner that we're trading with gets invaded by a foreign nation, do I think that we should completely stay out of it or
Oh yeah.
fund that trading partner to fight against the
So should we
aggressor?
just
Is that
keep
like
like? Oh yeah, you can trade with us, but we're not going to help you.
No, I don't really think either of those. I think in the case of the three countries involved in this, I think we need to do everything we can to end whatever conflict that ideally both sides could be happy with. It's I'm sure the Russian. I mean, this is just one idea for how to end it, but I'm sure the Russians would love to hear, yeah, the land that we've taken, it's just ours now. And then there's going to be like a 500-mile long DMZ zone, and NATO won't accept Ukraine for 20 years. I think I think it is in our interest to like protect our trading partners because it helps our economy, it grows us as well. So you don't just let the other side steamroll them and just do whatever the fuck they want and take it for all their shit. But at the same time, I don't think you want the war over, all right? Because then things can get back to normal. You can start trading with your buddy full time. They can rebuild their infrastructure. So I don't know. My ideal. I don't know what would appease Russia though. See, if you say that all of Ukraine is given back to Ukraine with the promise that they won't join NATO for 20 years, which I think is what we kind of already had in place in like the 90s. Again, I have to look into this. I want to read a Ukrainian history book, but like in the 90s, I think they disarmed their nuclear armaments with the promise that Russia won't move into their country, but they won't join NATO either. So I don't know what would be the best way to appease the Russian side of this, because if they get nothing out of this, you just lost all your troops, you lost a bunch of equipment, etc.,
And I
etc.
guess
Then why the fuck would
okay.
they
So like there's a you give and you take if you want to do peace talks, right? Obviously we're gonna have to give them something. They're going to play it off like, well, the whole reason why we pulled out of Ukraine is because the United States did peace talks and we had like a whole thing that made us happy. I feel like to me that's just like an excuse to be like, you know, because they probably wanted to pull out for a while. It's a big waste of money, especially since they've lost a lot of people, more so arguably than the Ukrainian side. A lot more money, a lot more people, a lot more equipment.
I mean, they've lost more military, but I think like something like 100,000 civilians have died on the
I
Ukraine
mean,
side.
yeah, I
So
guess,
it's
yeah, civilians.
as well as the infrastructure.
But okay,
Like even
but my
after,
point is that
yeah,
it's just like a cop out because if they've wanted to pull out for a while, and now it's just like an excuse, like oh now we can because the right person is in office.
maybe, but like the end result is still good for Ukrainian people, obviously, and for Russia.
I
Like,
mean,
okay,
Ukrainian
stop
people, if
fighting
they,
that war.
if the people who like their land was invaded and they kind of wanted their homes back, I'd
Yeah,
also imagine like an analogy of, can you imagine like invading Canada and then, you have the rest of NATO like giving or trying to give us peace talks and, like between it, we took all of like Quebec or some shit, you know, or like even just like, a big chunk of land. And then we're like, okay, well, since we heard these peace talks, I guess this is part of America now. Fuck yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. So, ideally, for the Ukrainian people, like their biggest talking points or their biggest desire for settling peace would be we want I'd imagine all the land that was seized. Maybe you can throw in Crimea. Maybe you can work something out. I don't know. I'd imagine, like, how would you incentivize the Russians to be okay with that? The first thing that came to mind, I know basically everyone boycotted, pulled out companies, put a bunch of sanctions on Russia. If you give them, like, the idea, yeah, Ukraine won't join NATO, you won't have a military alliance on your border, and your economic situation will be it'll be prosperous, you know, we'll let you back into the economic club.
Yeah.
You know, people will love you, their quality of lives will go up because the economy is so good. I don't know if that would
Well,
be...
that too. I mean, Russia, like, they could probably just get right back into things. Then Ukraine got to, like, you know, with already, like, a previously corrupt government, and now they have to deal with trying to figure out how to restart their economy after all this shit.
Well, yeah, they have to rebuild. They have to get good people that won't just abuse the broken system in place, take the money for themselves. And then that's where we step in and we have the CIA kind of run Ukraine for us. I don't know. I mean, I guess ideally the best way is just find a way that can appease both sides and just end the conflict. That would be the best result. So I took a political quiz. Let me see if I can fucking... There we go. I remembered how to screenshot for the first time. I got... So I think this was a quiz on Pew Research Center. According to them, I am ambivalent right, so center right. I was asking Molly where we went different on our questions. So for the correct question of race and immigration, if America is too open to people from all over the world, we risk losing our identity as a nation.
I don't remember having that question.
I just answered that one.
What'd you answer?
I'll send my results to the Wheeze.
I said that was incorrect because, you know, was it Ronald Reagan who said, you know, you can go to Germany and become, you still aren't German. You can go to, like, fucking France, you're still not French. You come to America, you're now American, you know? It's an idea more than an identity.
And still an identity, though. What is the American identity? It's not being German. It's different from that.
We're built upon so many different other places.
It's built off of separating from what is it, like governments that are too invasive, I would say. Like, a big part of our identity is like, oh, we beat these, fucks that, like, tried to give us or tried to force us to pay for something that we can't even, like, represent or change ourselves.
Part of being American is saying fuck the British people. Just
I mean, to put it in very, like, simplistic terms, I guess, but
that's at least one part of it.
King George.
Yeah, that's at least, like,
I would say, yeah, I mean, big part of it was taxation without representation.
Oh,
yeah,
we're doing good on that.
Which we aren't, right? Because, if you're under 18, you can't vote, but you still have to pay taxes.
Well, I mean, you still have... yeah.
I feel like if you're under 18, you shouldn't have to pay income tax. Because that's literally the def.
Agree with that.
What's that?
I agree
because
with
it's
that.
literally taxation without representation.
Well, I'm sure their argument would be something like but the policies I put in place affect you and your family.
Yeah, but you couldn't represent. That doesn't represent you, though, because you couldn't vote on it. So that's the definition of taxation without representation. That's what we fought to get away from.
When I run for senator, I'll make sure to make that a bill I try
and
pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on the quiz right now, so if you guys want to fill in for me.
Um, I answered. I suppose it should have like showed what both questions were. Um, what business corporations make too much profit? Molly, do you remember what you put?
I think I said yes.
Yeah, I did too. People being too easily offended by things others say is a major problem in the country today. I think there's always like four. There was four options for that one. I think I put a little bit.
I think I did too.
People saying things that are very offensive to others is a minor problem in the country. I think for that one I put a little bit.
I don't remember what I put.
Overall, people who are convicted of crimes in this country serve too much prison time. I think I put yes for that one. I mean, it heavily depends on the crime,
Yeah.
but for non-violent, I mean, it depends on what kind of non-violent crime, but I don't know if you do a fucking white-collar crime, if you make a bookkeeping error, I don't think that should be a felony. That can be a misdemeanor with a fine. Felony seems excessive.
It depends on how many times it happens, I feel like. Like, if you are constantly making errors in it, I feel like.
Yeah, but like, would each one be worthy of a felony, or would it all just be classified as like one? You made this many mistakes. We're gonna charge you as a felony for each individual. I guess that's with the 34 felony counts. I was trying to find what the felony counts were. I guess we can get into that maybe in a little bit. I don't know, like types of fraud. Like if you scam, if say the government has a relief program designed for COVID victims, and you create bogus charges, and say the money's going to homeless shelters and people that don't have food. Meanwhile, you just bought a new car, you have a nice new lake house. I think that would be a fair felony.
Yes.
Massive misappropriation of funds to just benefit you, or just a fucking yeah. Um, Greater social acceptance of people who are transgender is neither good nor bad for society. I think that I put indifferent. Like I can't relate. I don't have an issue with it. Um, I think it's just the bare minimum. Like you don't let a child take puberty blockers or hormone blockers until they're 18.
Oh yeah, you need to be older than.
I'd say just like 18 is fine, because if you can fucking smoke, if that's the threshold for like, okay, now we think you're an adult, okay, that's fine. Do whatever the fuck you want to yourself, but I don't think any younger than that. You should let them do what they think is best for themselves, because we already don't let them do that with fucking tattoos. And at least with a tattoo, you can get it removed. You can undo it.
But you can also get tattoos at as young as 16, as long as like a parent signs off on it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but like, see, then I worry about, I don't know, I guess maybe that could be fine. If a kid really wants it, the parent's fine with it, they think it's okay.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. Probably err on the side of caution of that. White people benefit not too much / not at all from the advantages in society that black people do not have. Wait, what? Do you still have your quiz open?
So I think I closed out of it.
I just wanted to see what it said. Are you almost done with the quiz, Jason? Meanwhile, in other news, on the topic of kids, Australia, once again, sounding like a interesting.
Oh, hold on. I just finished the quiz. I just gotta.
Okay.
That's interesting. I wonder what you answered to get yours.
I can take it again. I mean, I wonder if the questions are in order, so we can just walk through it. But
I got same as Molly.
interesting. Yeah.
I knew I
Yeah,
think
all
I
right.
leaned a little more left, but when it asked about the military power, I think we should, still stay on top.
No, I put. Yeah, that'd be cool, but like that'd be. I put yeah. I'm obviously I like the, as far as like military superpower. Should America remain the only one? As an American, I like that idea, but like
I'm pretty sure I said no.
that's what I put because I like the idea of us being one, but like why?
I mean, if it's an
Why do we?
they just worded it too
Why are we
vaguely.
one?
Like if it was like the UK or some shit,
Yeah.
somehow they're like military superpower, sure.
Fuck no.
But like if it's like
Oh,
an adversary, of course we'd still want to be on top.
yeah. Wait, no, I just want to see the answers to the questions again. Okay. Okay, so let's just go through the questions. If you had to choose, would you rather have a smaller government providing fewer services or a bigger government providing more services? I went with smaller
I went
government.
with smaller.
Jason.
What was it?
JJ.
My bad.
If you had to choose, would you rather have a smaller government providing fewer services or a bigger government providing more services?
I answered bigger, but I think it should be smaller. Like,
Okay.
I
Alright.
just because I don't know what they mean by that. Like, did they want me to expand the government, make it bigger than it is? Did the government? This is at this point I didn't know it was like mainly about the U.S.
I was thinking in terms of the US, I think smaller government is just generally better. I just like that idea more.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. But if they meant like a bigger government than what the U.S. already has, yeah. But if it's like like
have
Haiti
more.
or like a smaller nation, they probably might need a bigger government.
Yeah. Well, I'm US, so I think yeah, this compass is I think
For you.
I think it's for US. I mean, they're talking
Yeah, they're
about
talking about America like 90% of the quiz, but I didn't know that in the beginning.
So yeah, I went with smaller government. Which of the following statements come closest to your view? America's openness to people from all over the world is essential to who we are as a nation, or if America is too open to people from all over the world, we risk losing our identity as a nation.
First one.
I went with the second. I mean, it's very vague.
What was it again?
Can mean a lot of different things. America's openness to people from all over the world is essential to who we are as a nation, or if America is too open to people from all over the world, we
Okay.
risk losing our identity
Yeah.
as a nation.
No, I think the second one is kind of stupid. So yeah, I did the first one.
Okay, that's what I went with. The second
Yeah.
one.
Because that's what our nation's pretty much.
It's literally yeah.
Yeah, but like, I want to know what this question. I mean, I obviously this nation started as like a major. It was a nation of immigrants. People.
I mean, yeah, I
kinda
guess you
kicked
could say
out
that
and-
about any nation, right? But I mean, still. I mean,
Yeah.
I think even nowadays, where we are where we go for like, opportunities, at least for like, education, because, you still have like adversaries, sending their people over to do elite colleges just because we have better education.
We have better shit. Yeah. Yeah, but like, is that essential to who we are as a nation?
Kinda. Yeah.
In general, would you say experts who study at a subject for many years are usually better, usually worse, or neither better nor worse?
I did neither better nor worse because it really depends.
Yeah, that was my thought process.
Yeah, I did
Like,
nor better, no worse, just because the average person I talk to on a daily basis doesn't sound any different than who's already empowered. So
Yeah.
everyone's the same. All right. Unless you have like an insane IQ, and even then, you still need like other people to balance your ideas off of.
Yeah. Thinking about increased trade of goods and services between the US and other nations in recent decades, would you say that the US has gained more than it lost because increased trade has helped lower prices and increase the competitiveness of US businesses, or lost more than it has gained because increased trade cost has cost jobs in manufacturing and other industries and lowered wages for the US workers?
second one.
Yeah, I did the second.
I went with the first. I definitely think that, I mean, if we outsource, I should have thought about this one more. We've outsourced a lot of our manufacturing to other countries because they can do it cheaper.
I mean, it makes it cheaper, but I mean, our wages suffer.
Having things be cheaper, because our wages suffer, but like, that means they can hire at least some people who are really smart to like, stay competitive, reinvent the wheel. Yeah, looking back, I probably would have gone with the second one. How much more, if anything, needs to be done to ensure equal rights for all Americans, regardless of their racial or ethnic backgrounds?
I put a little.
I think that's what I went with originally.
Yeah, I did a little.
What were your guys' thoughts on that? Like, what do you think needs to be done? What little amount needs to be done to ensure equal rights for all Americans, regardless of their racial or ethnic backgrounds?
I don't know what can be done. I just feel like there's definitely, I don't know, still some discrimination against.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, I would say, like a basis of, a certain amount of people who are in rural areas that still have certain beliefs. You also have
Right. So you still have some downtowns. That's the issue.
you still have, yeah. I would say, I mean, I guess it's hard to like judge an entire country based off of some people's views, but I mean, I think it's still some of which is a problem, but
Well, how big of a problem is
a
it?
little.
I think it cost Kamala Harris the election, actually, because
Well, yeah, I mean that
for
I
two
would
elections,
say is kind of bullshit. You're not
that's so fucking stupid. But
you're not voting just because. What, I don't know. If you're not voting based off of policy, I feel like there's something wrong in your head. Even like regardless
yeah,
if like you're Republican or if you're a Republicard or a libtard, if you
if you're voting for Kamala because she was a woman, you have problems. If you're voting for Trump because he wasn't a woman,
yeah,
you have problems.
pretty much.
I think, yeah, I can agree with that. Um, which of the following statements came closest to your view? Business corporations make too much, or they make a fair and reasonable amount? I put too much.
Yeah, I did too much.
Hell yeah. So where the fuck did we go so different?
There's been what, like 2 questions we've.
Yeah, and the one
different.
and one of them seemed like that. I feel like Molly and I answered more conservatively.
Yeah.
How much, if at all, would it bother you to regularly hear people speak a language other than English in public places in your community?
Not
But
at all. I hear it on a regular basis just because, the organization I'm in has a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, on a scale of 0 to 100, 0 means cold, 100 means warm. How do you feel about Democrats? I put 40, and for Republicans, I put 50.
Interesting.
Maybe that's why I got the fucking answer I got. I mean,
I either did 60 or 70 for the Democrats.
ooh,
I think.
walk me through that. What do you like about the Democratic Party? You don't know?
everything I just hear where it's like Democrats, I feel like I agree a little bit more with what they're saying than with Republicans.
Like, what do you hear? Nothing comes to mind.
No,
It's just
just
stuff
kind
you've
of-
heard, and
yeah.
now it's just
Like in my brain, it's just like, oh, I agree more with the Democratic side of.
yeah. I mean, I was
Thanks.
thinking current days. If we're talking about like what the parties kind of represented in the 80s and 90s, I would lean much more Democrat.
Mhm.
I am kind of judging it off of we'll go with 2016 and beyond Democrats. I think Obama was an okay president. I think he was
a great one.
I think he was a shitty person as well. We had more deportations under him, killed a lot more kids with drones, and then never pardoned Snowden. But
Yeah.
What about you, Jason?
Oh my God.
Hmm?
Obama's still my guy.
Oh, you like someone that kills
No.
kids? Oh, that's great.
There was a mug at work that said "still my guy," and it had a picture of Obama.
I did 72 Democrats and then like 60 to Republicans.
Explain. Okay, so basically the same as me, but you were just higher towards both.
Yeah, I mean, I don't tend to like be uncomfortable around a normal ass person, so.
What?
I just think of it as, a lot, like a majority of people are either, one side or the other. So like they're just everyday people to me. So if I'm talking, I guess if the question was like, overtly left or right, then I would have answered differently. Like if they're extremely left or right, then I would have done like 0 for both of them because I just don't like.
Yeah.
Because somehow one way or another they insert their political views in a normal ass conversation. But
yeah. Which of these statements best describes your opinion about the U.S.? The U.S. stands above all other countries. The U.S. is one of the greatest countries, and then there are countries that are better than the U.S. That one pissed me off.
They put their countries better than the U.S.
Really?
Not that I have any in mind. I just feel like
really?
there's no way we're the best.
Name one country.
I
Better
literally,
than
I literally just said not that I can name one. I just feel like there has to be one.
Okay.
So you're falling for British propaganda.
Okay.
That's what's going on.
what word did I say?
I just want to know though, like what countries come to mind. Like if I were to answer that question, I would have maybe said Denmark. But
I could think of like policies that they do that I like more than what we've got going on here, but like I guess I'm a good citizen because like my country.
Canada's pretty.
I've heard terrible things about Canada.
yeah, Canada sucks ass. I would definitely not say that's better.
Yeah.
But
fuck no, they don't have any.
No.
Well, actually, they probably have like 5, but like I definitely think other countries have a lot. Let's just go with an easy one: healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
a lot of
better.
European countries, it's just free. I mean, it's basically free.
I do want to say, just for Canada's sake, they literally enacted a policy where like the stuff you view on the internet is like they're gonna like tailor it towards closer to Canadian, like they incentivize Canadian like influencers better on the internet just because because of Canadian pride.
That's propaganda. Well, that's like those fucking Israeli girls that psyop you because ooh, look at me, I'm a girl, I'm so cute, I'm so hot, and I'm in the military. Join the IDF.
South Park did a good
me.
thing on that, on a good movie on that. Yeah, influencers influencing.
I'd still say the U.S. is number 1, but like I think there are other great countries. So
There's other good countries out there. I just say
maybe not great.
I would just say, it's a massive country. There's a lot going on, so it's really hard to like try and pinpoint a lot of these issues. But on the other hand, like, what other countries allows you to have the, a gun comes to mind, a weapon.
See, that's kind of one that I don't really care about. So like, I should go either way with whatever.
But like, doesn't it like give you a little bit of pride? Like, you have the ability to, if you really wanted to, like protect yourself.
For me, it does.
Because
you have a right to defend yourself with almost the best means possible, right? You're not gonna really have easy access to a fully automatic gun, but like,
But you don't even need it. It's funny because you don't even need a fully automatic weapon to properly defend yourself.
Why would I need a gun to defend myself when other countries don't have shooting?
You know what Britain has? They have mass stabbing problems.
It's just not just because you ban one weapon doesn't mean that people aren't going to use other means.
I know, but why would I need a gun then?
Someone breaks into your
Because
house.
you shoot the stabber.
You're walking in a dark fucking parking lot. Walmart shootings. There's multiple good reasons to get a weapon. Get a gun.
Yeah.
I'd rather just carry pepper spray.
That's
is that
dumb.
Okay? So somebody bum rushes you with a knife. Okay, you run. Maybe you run. Like that's the first instinct, and then what? You quickly grab the pepper spray from your purse, or what?
Use a knife. You never use fucking pepper spray. This is gonna sound sociopathic. If I really wanted to kill some fucking girl and she threw out pepper spray, yeah, it would fucking sting. I would still.
if you were that adamant.
Yeah, if I was that.
But if you couldn't see,
I would. Okay. If like I'm charging at her from 50 feet away and she pulls out the pepper spray and she blasts me and it's really fucking intense, yeah, maybe it'll cripple.
Okay.
Maybe. If I can power through it though, if I have that much adrenaline, I fucking get to you.
This might be a little psychopathic, right? But I was in a gas chamber before, right? It hurts your eyes. It hurts a lot, but you can still do shit. You can still do stuff.
I mean, ideally a gun, because if they're at a distance, then you can just pop, motherfucker.
Where am I supposed to have a gun? You can't have guns at like a mall or anything.
Yes, you can. Depends on the mall. Look, would you rather be in violation of a sign that says you can't carry, or would you rather?
But a lot of them just say you can't open carry.
They kill me that badly, let them fucking kill me.
You could still have a weapon, but just don't open carry it. Open carrying is the dumbest shit ever, because you're just showing, hey, kill me first.
Carry it in my little tiny purse.
There's a holster thing, and you put it. There's like ways to conceal the fact that you are carrying a handgun.
Yeah.
How many people do you think we've walked in Walmart? Like, this is a fucked up story. Well, not fucked up, but like, my dad told me when he was carrying a gun, like he just walked into Walmart and something went wrong with his holster, so his gun just fell on the ground in the middle of fucking Walmart. No one saw, but like, that shit can't happen. But like, there's a lot of people you pass by that like they.
Well, it's like that. I worked at a small mom and pop shop at one point, at a deli.
Oh, yeah,
and the guy put a gun on the counter, when he was paying for his shit. Absolute fucking idiot. If I was that much of a psychopath, I could have just grabbed it. And then
you could have just pulled out your own. Hey, buddy. Yeah. No, I think, look, the fact that guns exist in America, this problem is never going to change. There's more guns than there are people. Yeah. So in this country, specifically, the country that we live in, I would feel more comfortable living in my house, even if a gun never left. That just in case, on the fucking off chance, I can sleep slightly easier at night, or if I'm going out in public.
Yeah.
Just on the very fucking off chance, something happens, I don't have a fucking pocket knife. I have a better way to make sure that I live.
Right.
I like the fact that I can do that. I don't like kids dying in school shootings. There's got to be a way to kind of mitigate that. I think it's a cultural thing. This wasn't really happening like the 70s and 80s. You used to bring a fucking gun to school. People were
they used to have a shooting practice in schools, like actual like shooting ranges and shit.
Yeah. Something's fucked. I think there's a way to fix it. I think you can have your cake and eat it too. That's what I'd like to say. I just like the idea of I can defend myself with almost the best means possible that we currently have today. But that's just me. You don't really care either way. Okay.
Yeah, that was a heavy one.
Yeah. So for this question, I'm putting the U.S. stands above all others. I'm changing my opinion. How much of a problem, if any, would you say there are in the following country today? People being too easily offended by things. I put it's
minor.
I put it's a minor.
I put a minor issue. Yeah.
People saying things that are very offensive to others. I put a minor problem.
Minor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with, like, there's a line, you can say some crude jokes, you can say racist, sexist jokes. But you can't also like go too far.
But on the other hand, I haven't also like heard like a regular person on like a daily basis just hear or just say offensive shit to people.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
online, yeah, of course, it's gonna be everywhere. Your face is hidden, but I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
yeah,
anonymous.
Not really.
It
It
depends.
is to an extent.
Well, yeah, if the government's
Yeah.
trying to find you, they're going to find you. But like, it depends. When it comes which comes closer to your view of the candidates for political office, even if neither is exactly right? I usually feel like there's at least one candidate who shares most of my views, or none of the candidates represent my views very well. I put the second one.
I don't.
I put
I'd imagine you'd put the second one. There's not a candidate that represents your views well.
yeah, I did that one.
Yeah.
None of them
Yeah,
represent my views.
exactly. Yeah. In general, how much do white people benefit from advantages in society that black people do not have?
I said a fair amount.
I put not too much.
I forgot, what are the options?
A great deal, a fair amount, not too much, not at all.
I did a fair amount.
Walk me through that one, both of you. Let's start with you, Jason. What do you think white people benefit in society that black people do not benefit from?
I think it's just like the majority of it is just economical, advantages. They just a lot of them just happen to be like in not super economically advantageous areas to start out with. A lot of white people, but I mean, I guess it goes both ways. I don't know if I changed that one. I think I might change it, but it does kind of go both ways because there's a lot of white people that don't have advantages either. But I
Well,
mean,
yeah, I was just about to say. I was just about to look up the statistic. Like, I feel there's definitely. I mean, it's just like a numbers game. There's more white people than black people in America, so you're probably gonna have more poor white people than poor black people.
yeah.
If you do like a 1-to-1 comparison, I don't know.
I just say that like it balances out very weirdly that like a lot of black people have a lot of economical disadvantage. I think it's interesting that they said black people instead of minorities in general. Is by
Yeah.
Well, this is like talking about the biggest racial divide in American history, because
right,
Um,
but yeah, that's
you're changing to not too much.
yeah,
So
I'd
I
keep it
can't
to a fair amount just
name.
because of economical disadvantage and you know getting
I feel
pulled
like
over. You'd have less of a concern than
black people tend to, I guess, like for crime wise, I feel like they get like, I don't know, they always are suspected more for a crime, even if
that.
Yeah,
they don't commit it, than a white person and stuff. They're always, I don't know, people are still have those
a lot of
racist
shitty,
thoughts.
shitty officers. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got the chart that shows like skin color. Like, okay, suspicious, not suspicious.
All right,
They carry.
but what's your idea of what you chose?
Not too much. I think we're a lot better than we were in the '60s, in the '70s, in the '80s, and the
Yeah.
'90s. Um, I think the biggest. I don't know what the biggest is. I'm not a black person. I agree that I think it's far more likely that an officer will be a lot more of a cunt to you, treat you like shit if you're non-white. There's just more suspicion involved, but I know like I feel like I've seen some statistic that like more white people get killed by officers. I don't know. Like if you do like a 1-to-1 comparison, I don't know. The reason why I chose not too much is I generally like to believe that there is a level playing field. I went with not too much because I don't know everything. So I'm sure there are still. I mean, obviously, like in the case of officers, like I just said, I'm more willing to believe that they treat minorities, in this case, black people, with more suspicion, aggression, condescension than the average white person. If you get a speeding ticket as a white guy, You'll either get a warning, even if you're going 10 over, or you might get a ticket. If you're a black guy, my canine unit's on the way. Hold tight for me, please. What'd you send?
It's just from Statistica, but it's so you see a lot more white people on average getting killed from police from 2017 to 2024. Again, I mean, you also have the percentage of people that are here, so I feel like that's still a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of black people dying over the percentage of white people, but
yeah. I don't know. I guess this is an optimistic way to view it. I think the way I think about it, like a lot of people, everyone's kind of, unless you're born. I don't know how to word this.
Everyone's kind of racist.
No, I don't. I think that's fucking stupid. My internalized racism is the reason why I answered too little. Or not too much. I think this country is doing better. I mean, obviously, there's more white millionaires and white billionaires, but we had a black president, so that means racism's over. I don't fucking know. All right, I just went with not too much. I think I have a more optimistic view of the opportunities that are afforded to all people in the country. I do think still that there are cases of people in power that look down on minorities or just treat them as stereotypes or criminals right off the get-go.
Right.
But I'd like to believe that it's not as prevalent. Still exists.
I mean, again, we had like that whole like Haitian thing that went on, where like just because someone in power or was about to be in power said something about Haitians being in some city in Ohio, and then people were going crazy about that, but it didn't really exist as an issue.
Those are low IQ people. Those are low IQ. I don't despise Haitians.
Yeah.
That woman, the video that I saw, she wasn't even Haitian apparently, but she did eat a fucking cat. So fuck that bitch.
Wasn't she an American citizen?
Yeah. I agree with. Okay, so like we're just gonna quickly circle to that real quick. Like I agree with him on this, his position on like illegal immigration. I understand, but I think it's like a bad game of telephone. Like one fucking person is campaign thinks he sees something, tells his boss tells it to the fucking third person who talks to Trump. Trump hears it on the debate stage. They're eating the cats and dogs. The people that like started developing a hatred for Haitians, or I even fucking heard this at some of the gas stations I went, just like the way this lady said, yeah, there's a bunch of Haitian people that live here now. I could just tell, like, oh, you're not a fan of them. And this was after the debate, so I'm not sure what influenced her. I think it's the same as like after 9/11. Like, amount of Arab hate.
Yeah.
Muslim. Dramatically.
But it's just weird because I feel like it's more generalized towards like any immigrant. But I don't know. I feel like that's a bigger issue, or also kind of veering away from the topic. But we also do have a comment in the live chat from a previous person who's been on the podcast before, from Logan. Do we want to answer it now, or do we want to, kind of go into?
I don't know anything about this.
Okay. Do you guys know anything about Trump saying stuff against the LGBTQ, Jesus Christ, community, like removing flags from schools and supporting discrimination against them? Wild stuff.
I refuse to believe the discrimination part because I've heard him say that. Like I think it was his 2016 campaign speech. Maybe he's changed. Like I will do everything in my power as your president to protect our LGBTQ plus rights. Something like that.
I find that weird because
I know there was a transgender ban in the military.
Wasn't he associated with someone that like was for conversion therapy?
Yeah, his running mate.
Word in politics. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mike Pence. Yeah.
Yeah. used for conversion therapy. So I feel like it's weird to have your running mate before that. And then
It is. I did see like a post from Twitter, like it was just asking, do we think we should ban, pride flags from government buildings? And then
I think you should have the U.S. flag. I don't know.
I don't know if we should like outright ban them, but I don't think it should be like a regular thing
no.
because it's, whether you like it or not, it's promoting a certain organization, right? And we don't want our government, and we'll talk about this on the
promoting an organization.
It's promoting
a
a
certain group and or organization. We'll go into this more, but it was asking about religion. I think the government should be separated from groups, organizations, religions.
It's just the government. We support the whole country. Yeah. I don't think you need to ban it.
Don't need to ban it, but like
I don't think you need a pride flag at every
it.
government building.
No.
All right. I think that's like with the companies for Pride Month. All right. It's just it's excessive.
Right.
You're not changing anything.
It's a cash grab for them.
Obviously asking your like very conservative supporters, a big chunk of them aren't a part of that group. So I mean, of course most of them are going to say fuck yeah, fuck those people. I don't understand, so I'm scared.
I don't understand. I'm not scared. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I tried the buy thing. It's
all right.
thing.
So
let's go. Okay, we have like 3 questions left. So this ties in. Do you think the greater social acceptance of people who are transgender is very good, somewhat good, neither good nor bad, somewhat bad, or very bad? I put neither good nor bad.
I either did very good or somewhat good.
I think I did very good. Yeah.
You guys go first.
What was the question again?
Why do you think it's very good?
What was the question again?
Do you think greater social acceptance of people who are transgender is very good?
Yeah. So
they should be accepted. They shouldn't be discriminated for it. So
yeah, I mean, lack of discrimination. I would also say, I guess even after they get conversion therapy, suicide rates really don't change. I think that is better to like socially accept someone if they believe, they're a certain thing, or if they, if they seriously like believe that. I mean, a majority of them have a condition of gender dysphoria. So, I think
I just typed in. Or sorry, you finish.
So I think overall it would be better for their condition and or just for their mental well-being if you just shut the fuck up, take your opinions and just fucking just accept it, dude. Like what is you denying?
What is it?
Yeah, what is what is you denying their acceptance gonna do?
Who they are. Yeah, I do like to believe that give as much freedom as possible. My caveat to that is I don't think in most cases you should let kids under 18 take hormone blockers, puberty blockers, things. We have 18 as like, okay, this is when you can smoke. You can't drink yet.
You can't smoke yet either.
Oh yeah, that's right. They changed that. Yeah. So fuck, maybe you have to wait till 21 to take fucking puberty. No, I think that's dumb. No. That'd be like my only caveat to that. Like, I don't think you should be letting 11, 12, 13-year-old kids that are just hearing about this stuff for the first time.
Oh, no, definitely. I think once you're done with puberty is a better range of that.
Let's just call it 18. As far as like taking medical procedures to be more aligned with who you feel that you are. I feel like that doesn't bother me at all.
I feel like 16 is a fine age. I don't know.
You're still in puberty at 16.
I'd keep it as an adult.
You're not
really.
an adult. I was still in puberty at 16. You're so young. It does
depend on the person. I mean,
you're so young. A tattoo is different than doing things that will permanently alter your body's chemistry.
I'm just saying, because you can legally, like, gain guardianship of yourself at 16. Like,
so if you're your own legal guardian, you can do it, but
that's
if you're
kind
not
of why I'm saying 16, just because.
Well, I would say, I mean, I guess 16 with an exception of that. But
yeah, if you're your own legal guardian, then sure. But if you're 16 and you're still, under the care of your parents, I don't think so. No.
I mean, that would be more the
Your
middle
private
ground
life.
if you really wanted to be, if you really wanted to be like their mental development has to be like, on point in
Then you're
25.
25.
But
Well, yeah. Then that, like, fuck that. I couldn't even shoot. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. That would
Yeah.
piss me off if I wasn't allowed to drink until
Yeah.
I'm 25. Not that these are the same things, but like just that
Yeah.
idea rubs me the wrong way. But no, so on this topic, I just typed in suicide rates after transition, and the first website that pops up is the Heritage Foundation.
All right.
I'm not going to click.
What
it,
is
but,
that Heritage Foundation?
A mandate for leadership. Those guys that wrote the project 2025.
Nice.
They're the first ones.
Yeah. All right. I remember this now.
We'll get to that topic. I'm gonna read the book and make a whole fucking notebook about the shit I find interesting or whatever the fuck. Because I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll bet my life on it that a lot of the wacky shit doesn't happen. But we'll find out, I guess. Okay. You know what? Final change. I'll go with somewhat good for society. I think like if you really feel this way, I don't get it. It's not for me. But I don't think you should be ostracized or you shouldn't be beat for it. It shouldn't be like you're a fucking alien weirdo. I think it's like, okay, you're one of sounds bad. Sounds bad to say it like this, but you're one of those people. Okay. You say it with a good tone though, not like, oh, you're one of those people. Overall, would you say people who are convicted of crimes in this country serve too much time, too little, or about the right amount? I put too much.
I think I put about the right amount.
Interesting.
No.
You really think the guy who had 10 pounds of marijuana deserves 25 years in prison? You really think the coke dealer deserves 20 years in prison?
I did too much.
I don't care.
You don't? Okay.
No. Because I'm not just thinking about like those like stupid little crimes.
So those are stupid little crimes.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
All right. So what? Okay. What did you put again? You say not enough.
I put too much time in prison. Molly put about the minor amount. About the right amount of time in prison.
Because I'm also like thinking like murderers, like
they get life.
That's a good life in prison. Good amount for them.
There's a hierarchy to it, but I think the amount of crimes that people are convicted of, I feel like there's way more drug crimes for just dealing fucking street drugs as opposed to the amount of people convicted on murder. Murderers and rapists and pedos, they should have, I think at this point, like more prison time. But I mean, maybe depending on the circumstances for, murder, if you did it when you were 16 and dumb, maybe you can get out when you're fucking 60. I might let that slide. But that's just me.
Self-defense as well.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about this in another episode, but the Daniel Penny case, we're gonna get to that once it all
What are your guys' thoughts on executions? Do you think it prevents crimes? Do you think it helps?
No. It doesn't prevent, but my way of doing it, I know this like removes the idea that justice is impartial, but if like someone killed Molly, I'd take matters into my own hands if I could. But like if they caught the guy and he's behind bars and I can't really kill him myself, I'd like to be able to choose what happens to him. All right? I'd like to be able to choose.
Right.
I don't want some fucking judge who's just reading this because it's Monday for him. Okay, well, I'm gonna apply the standard sentencing guidelines. He acted with malice, but it wasn't premeditated.
Yeah, it's third degree because it happened because he was angry that one day.
Yeah, I think 30 years sounds about right. Fuck you, dude. No, but that would be my ideal way. I get that that's not making justice impartial, but it's also giving justice to the people that were most affected. But then I think for crimes, like if the family refuses or doesn't want to do something, then yeah, leave it to a judge.
Right.
If it's like a shoplifting crime, then yeah, leave it to a judge. Well, yeah, because fuck corporations, they're gonna want to sue you for everything. They don't
Nothing
want you
nothing
to.
is a victimless crime though.
Piracy is a
We
victimless
should
crime.
let the corporation CEOs determine what happens to shoplifters. I think that would be
I don't
perfect.
think that idea rubs me the wrong way.
It sounds so corrupt. I love it.
The Walton family? Yeah, I don't want to know what the fuck they'd want to do to me. I don't want to be put in the Walton family dungeon for the amount of things that I've You know what? I don't want the Walton family to have
Yeah.
dirt on me. I'm not gonna finish that.
The Walmart arena has Amadeus's
Gladiator.
execution.
Amadeus? Okay. We have two more questions, then we're done with this quiz. Which of the following statements come closest? Religion should be kept separate, or government policies should support religious values and beliefs? I put separate.
Separate.
Separate, obviously, yeah. That's what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I think like an argument for the religious one is there's a lot of wacky shit in pretty much every religion, but like if you cherry pick the good stuff, it is generally good, you know.
Yeah.
Cherry picking and then just
Well,
interpret.
you have to cherry pick the good stuff, but I think the good stuff is good stuff.
I usually like don't
You would-
have anything against people with religions. You know, a lot of them have like good intentions. You know, it's their safe space. You know,
Like-
they're filling their god hole.
Yeah.
If they want to believe in whatever religion they want to believe in, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't think they should be able to force someone that
Well,
either
yeah.
views something different or someone that doesn't.
It's on the
I
dollar
think
bill
you-
though. It's in God we trust.
Yeah. Well, I think my idea of cherry picking the good stuff from a religion and enforcing those would be just, you know, don't fucking kill people, don't steal, don't be an asshole, etc. Like those are those are
Kind of
my
like
cherry picks,
generic
but
parts of society that already exist.
yeah, just like the things that makes the fabric of society that keeps this whole
Yeah.
thing going.
But
right?
that's not just like
That's not all what religion
religion.
is. Yeah, it's a lot more complicated. You know, if we had Sharia law, you wouldn't be fucking talking anymore.
Yeah. Which we can talk
shit,
about
the
that.
4D
You know, there's an Iranian
The 4D
protester.
movement. Yeah, we'll talk about that next. Okay, last question. In the future, U.S. policy should try and keep it so America is the only military superpower. I mean, I already answered this. I like the fact that like we are the number one military. There was a sense of pride about that, but also I can't blame another country for wanting to be another superpower. And what
I
the
mean,
fuck
I
would we
can't
do to
blame
stop
them
that?
for it, right? They want to feel superior, but they're just
Yeah.
not. So I chose, you know, obviously we're on top.
Yeah. I think I answered it. Oh nope, I'm still ambivalent. Right. Okay. Well, that's great.
All right, that's interesting. I feel like
I changed. I think like two of the questions, but I'm still ambivalent. Right.
weird. Maybe it just knows you.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like that is kind of
Do
honestly.
you think you from 2-3 years ago would have the same result? Do you think you changed politically?
2 or 3 years ago? I probably not. I'm trying to think how I would differ though. I don't. I had. Okay, I don't have like a whole lot of country pride, but I have more now than I did 2 or 3 years ago.
Is it just because of elections or?
Well, this is my first time getting invested in politics, so I think I'm really invested, I'll say. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what would have changed from me from 2 or 3 years ago politically. I mean, maybe if anything, I'd be more center, or maybe if we go like 2018, I'd say I was more anti SJW. That was my political party.
Yeah.
YouTube was a hell of a drug. I don't know. I guess from like back then, I've probably moved more towards the center then. I don't know. But like, I don't.
I was
don't,
just
like,
talking like from your femboy era.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't like I was genuinely a femboy. That wasn't like me trying to have. That wasn't me having identity issues. I was doing it because
You're doing it for the bit.
it was funny.
I don't
It
think
was
you're
funny.
doing it for the bit, but
You're not me,
I
right?
I see things.
I liked it for the bit, and I liked painting my nails. I don't think that meant I was having
I
an
think you
identity
were.
crisis.
You let me do your makeup a few times.
Yeah, I looked pretty. I don't mind
That's
that.
pretty good. We did get Elias to do it, and then he got embarrassed as soon as he found out that I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
He's like, I swear, I knew this was gonna happen. Sort of like frantically washing it off. That was kind of funny.
Speaking of things that would have benefited Elias, I want to talk about Australia.
What?
So the Australian government says that it will introduce world-leading legislation to ban children under 16 from social media. This is batshit insane. He's proposed laws to be tabulated in Parliament next week were aimed at mitigating the harm social media was influencing on Australian children. This one is for the mums and the dads. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. I want Australian families to know that the government has your back.
I just want to know how they're gonna implement this, because obviously most fucking apps and websites you're only allowed to be on if you're 18 or up. Like TikTok or like certain parts of
There will be
YouTube.
no exceptions. There will be no exceptions on the age limit for children who have consent from their parents.
I'm just curious how they're
The
gonna
government
implement it.
the government says the onus would be on social media platforms to show. Oh, so the government, they're not going to figure out how to do it. They're going to say the social media companies need to figure it out, and if you don't do it to our liking, we're going to fine you. Jesus.
They said they're gonna find
Okay.
you.
Well, they don't
Yeah.
say that, but like I'd imagine that's what they do. If you guys don't do it how we want you to, we're not going to tell you how. But if you don't do it to our liking, we're going to fine you.
This sounds about right. There's
we're going to sue you.
some.
Yeah, because they don't want to fucking think about it themselves.
It's interesting because there is some YouTubers that I watch. One of them is I Did a Thing, and he runs a channel with a buddy that's called Boy, and they've done some interesting shit. Like they've gone to North Korea, to check out, because at the time the media was reporting you're only allowed to have a certain haircut in North Korea. So they went to North Korea to get a haircut. They also checked out a CIA base in Australia.
Oh, that
Yeah,
video.
and they
yeah.
did some other stuff, but I think it was a CIA base that they're called off the plane. And then and then for like a couple months after that, I saw in an interview that he said that the police just showed up to the house asking like, "Hey, I think they were asking some weird ass questions to like get inside the house." And then of course they said like, "No, I don't want to, like, just don't come in here."
Yeah, that's insane. This is an overreach. I understand where they're coming from. Whenever Molly and I have kids, they can get a smartphone once they're fucking 12 or 13. Up until then, they can have a fucking dumb phone just to text us, text and call us, and text and call your friends. That's it. I get where they're coming from, but this is not the government's job.
I think home phones need to make a comeback.
Maybe. Yeah, you know what? Calling people is better than texting, honestly, for socialization. It's better for your brain.
I guess that's kind of better, but what if, like, since you're both at work, right? So what if one person's job is calling? I mean, I guess maybe you just have two home phones.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still think this is fucking insane. Australia sounds to live in kind of fucking terrible.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't seem feasible unless they're gonna track down every single person that creates an account over 16 or under 16.
Maybe they will. Maybe they'll need you to present a fucking ID to sign up for Snapchat.
Maybe. That'd be insane.
Like, I get where they're coming from, but this is not the government's responsibility to protect the children. This is the parents' job to protect the children.
Yeah. I also feel like 16 is a wild age. Like
15, you can't have a fucking smartphone.
Yeah, like
basically you can't. Yeah, you can't have TikTok at 15. But then when you're 16, oh, it's okay. Oh, you can't. It's so fucking.
I mean, I guess I do. I do get it because you are slightly more mature. I feel like at 16.
I guess it like okay, so it makes a little
I
sense.
feel like I was.
Do I think it's good? Definitely not, because the government's telling you what you can or can't do with your own time, or what you look at, or wait, because I feel like that's also gonna like, because people get a lot of news from like social media. So I mean,
Yeah, this is why the First Amendment's great. I mean, it protects your right to free speech. Does it protect your access to free speech? I'd imagine, probably.
yeah,
I'd imagine.
That's usually whenever they like talk about getting rid of like certain apps or like certain things people
I've seen so many
say.
clips.
They talk about the
Hillary
access of it.
Clinton was saying, Hillary Clinton was saying that we need to regulate our social media companies. We can't have people like Elon spouting conspiracy theories on X. That's just batshit insane. Same with fucking Tim Walz.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee to misinformation or disinformation. Fuck you. Or hate speech. Go fuck. That is ridiculous to say. I love my governor. But no, back to Australia. Yeah, I think that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I get where they're coming from. But no. That's not your job, it's my job. You don't get to tell me how to raise my own fucking kids. I mean, but with that, like, I'd like to imagine that a lot of Gen Z people our age, they kind of realize, like most of them, I'd hope that, yeah, maybe all the social media, maybe the unfiltered internet access I had at 9 when I found some really fucked up websites probably wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
So I'll know how to tell my kids in this digital age, yeah, I'm gonna fucking monitor you. We're gonna have a talk about, like, how to do this good so you don't become dependent on your iPad, otherwise you have a fucking temper tantrum.
There's a whole thing about how like Gen Z isn't gonna raise iPad kids the way millennials are raising iPad.
I feel like it's gonna be worse.
Baby Van was the first millennial VP. Yeah,
I feel like Gen Z is gonna say like, yeah, this is horrible. We're gonna do it so much better, and then it's just worse.
Maybe. No, I'll be better. Our kids will get a flip phone.
I think, I mean, I personally, if and when anything happens, I would definitely be better about it. But
yeah, I mean, looking at some of the other people, like looking at my friend group, I don't know. Maybe they could like actually be a good parent, but also like I think I'm kind of friends with some people that are unironically sociopaths.
did they just coin the term because they're edgy, or?
No, they don't coin it. I just think that they are. So one of the other stories that I saw was a FEMA supervisor who allegedly told workers to avoid Florida homes with Trump signs. She was fired. One of my, this was posted in my friend's group chat, and then someone else just said womp womp. If he's not joking, that's where I think he's a bit of a sociopath comes in. I don't know. I guess that kind of ties into like the next big question. How many? So this will also tie into the 4B movement. Are political disagreements between you and your friends okay to have? And at what point does it become, no, you believe way too differently than me. We can't do this anymore. I think that's how you get echo chambers and how you live in a bubble and how you never
that's literally the formula for it.
I feel like I understand what people are like meaning by it. Like, it's not just political beliefs, it's just a moral standpoint in certain regards, I guess. I don't know. Because I guess I wouldn't want to be friends with someone if it's like all gay people should go to conversion therapy. Like, I wouldn't want to be friends with
I
that
feel like
person.
that's just up to your like opinion then. Like you don't have to read an article about it.
Yeah.
Like obviously
That's
if I
the
was
thing.
friends with someone who's like religiously, like I found out that they're a member of the KKK. I feel like that's just like a moral choice of mine to like, okay, well,
Yeah.
sayonara.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like
I don't think I could be friends with an active member of the KKK. I if like someone believed that gay people should go to conversion therapy, I don't agree with that. Like it's just that one thing. Just
Like,
that
they
one
actually-
thing.
That would be
I
interesting.
don't know. I guess
See, I would
for
still
me, since
I would still talk to them.
yeah.
I'll just call them, one of my white supremacist friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's different for you though, both of you, because you're both straight.
I get okay. So my equivalent
So
would be like trying to be friends with someone who thinks that all white people are inherently colonialist, misogynist, racist.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be difficult. I don't think I could
Yeah.
take them seriously on almost anything. Okay, so okay,
Wait,
I
so you're
see where
saying
you're coming from.
because you're not straight, it's different for you?
I mean, because then they would be just against me.
I feel like even if I was,
I don't know.
Well, okay, let me ask you, Jason. So, could you be friends with someone who actively carries the belief that all white men are transphobic, misogynistic, sexist, racist, colonialist, all the fucking buzzwords, and they carry this belief and they firmly believe it? You can't really change their mind on it.
yeah. You just described someone who's like very like inherently liberal.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I've done it
I guess
before, and
depends
I
on how much it comes up. Yeah. I guess it depends. Like, if it's all we fucking talk about, no, I'm not
Like-
gonna be friends with you.
yeah, I mean, if you're obviously
I don't-
always getting fucking griped on, and this is be fucking boring. Talk about something else. Care about something else.
Yeah.
Like every single time you guys talk, it comes up.
Well, then
No,
obviously
but, like,
not,
if
because it's
it's-
just boring.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, if the topic of politics comes up and they have that belief, I am gonna just assume I can't. They're a clown.
Yeah.
But like, with most of the time when you're with friends, I mean, these last two episodes are kind of an exception because we just had the biggest election of our lifetimes.
Okay.
So when you talk politics, it can get pretty divisive real fucking fast, and you can really think, oh, this person's a fucking dumbass completely.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't talk politics and you're just enjoying your life,
Yeah, what if they had these
I guess,
beliefs,
yeah.
but like politics rarely comes up?
then I could probably. I don't think
It's
I
hard
could
to
ever
say.
become best friends with them. Like, really, okay, you're a good
Yeah.
person.
I'd
I
be able
really
to have,
like
like-
you.
Conversations with them. I don't think I would be like.
I could be friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it because
Like,
you
if
don't
you're-
always have to like love like the person you talk to, but it's always good to have like different opinions, or whether you agree with them or not,
Yeah.
whether to you they're fucked up or not. It's somebody
Yeah.
else voicing what they believe. So I mean,
Look, they're not invited to my wedding, but yeah, I could
Yeah,
talk to
yeah,
them at
exactly.
least, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you could. I'm glad you changed my mind on that. Yeah, I'll be friends with someone that hates all white men for colonial, all that
Yeah.
fucking shit.
I still don't think. I don't know.
As long as it's like not always brought up, I feel like it's just not. I don't know.
It's again, I wouldn't be able to be like friends with this person. Like if I was out and about at some sort of social event and I saw them, I'd be fine to have a conversation with them. It's just not someone I'd go out of my way to talk to or hang
Maybe I'm
out
just
with.
too accepting of people sometimes. We're like, yeah, I see where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
you've frequently mentioned this character as the white supremacist and someone that you used to
Yeah.
talk to. I mean, you're experiencing a lot of different people, so I get. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can be friends with them. I'm trying to think like where it just becomes no, I can't.
I don't know. I guess I don't want to say that. Here, hold on one second. All right. I guess I don't want to say that I've met more diverse or like expanded my horizon on, multiple different cultures than you
Yeah.
guys.
The same kind of people, just more extreme versions of
Yeah.
the same
But
kind of people.
But I did, kind of go around town, here and there. I went to a high school in Minneapolis. Went to college, got to see those people belief, and then I went to the complete other side of the spectrum in the military.
Who do you like more, the military people or the college people in a very liberal state?
That's interesting.
Well, I guess probably military because you're just spending more time.
I think
with
it's just
them.
more
Like,
fun, just because. But it's not like politically oriented. I think
all the
if it's
time,
like
yeah.
if it's their politics, I feel like they're just like way too batshit crazy. Like at least on one side or the other, because there's I don't even know like how many people here would legitimately be like down for something like, you know, insane conversion therapy or random bullshit.
Yeah.
If it's like, you know, if I was in a, you know, very liberal college or whatever, it really didn't, like, they'll talk about it and then it's just,
They'll never talk about like, oh, this is what we need to do. They'll talk about it. This is fucking horrible. People that believe this should be
Yeah.
killed. Maybe not that far, but yeah, I see where you're going. But,
it's
yeah.
just, to me, it's interesting just seeing like two different groups of people. It's just like kind of like a personal social experiment. So yeah, to me personally, I think it's I think a little more interesting to be in that liberal side of things. Because if you're in the Republicard side of things, you hear the same thing over and over. But
yeah, well, that's why I feel, I don't know, not lucky. I'm the only person I know who voted for Trump.
Yeah.
All my other friends either didn't vote or voted for Harris, or wanted her to win in this case. So I guess that's I'm in a different environment. I'm not surrounded by like-minded people. You're the closest person I have, Jason, to a like-minded person.
Who is?
That I talk to.
Jesus.
You're the person
I mean, it's scary. I share the same.
It's scary.
I think it's scary because I share the same with you. Because I don't know if it's just because we've known each other for so long, or if it's just like this. You know, we're just different from the rest of society. Yeah, we're not like the other podcasters.
I haven't found a podcast like us. Granted, they're not popular, so I can't find them. But
exactly. Maybe it's just the wrong formula. We'll get our studio. It's coming.
Yeah, but no. I'm getting really good with my transitions actually, because this ties into what we were just talking about. So, on the topic of political disagreements, I'm already seeing 3 states, California, New York, and Minnesota, talk about preparing for the oncoming administration. So, in California, Governor Gavin Newsom, as Trump says, maybe I am falling into the cult of personality. He called a special session of legislature to beef up the state's legal defenses against the incoming president. Let's see what Newsom wants to tackle. So Newsom said state lawmakers would convene to take immediate